Hey, welcome to Ashtabula Hobby Talk. I'm Rykus, comic book enthusiast and kind of self-proclaimed extraordinaire. I'm the owner of Captain's Comics, in North Kingsville, Ohio, and my co-host is
Nemo, KEAPBL, president of Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula and amateur radio enthusiast. And welcome to Ashtabula Hobby Talk.
we have some events coming up here, huh?
Yeah, we'll deep dive right into some of that right away here. We've got Ashtabula County, well, I guess the radio club, Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula. We're going to do what we call Field Day. Field Day is an American Radio Relay League event that has been going on since 1933, 33, 35 is when it was official. The term Field Day goes all the way back to the 1700s, and that term related to uh, the the
It's like a military thing,
it was
wasn't
a military thing. It was sort of what's coming up here soon with like a military parade where they did cadence and the thing with the flipping of the guns and formation drills and stuff like that, and they did it in public for public display. It was that's what Field Day was.
Was that
Um,
just to gather people to get funds or something?
it was to get people motivated to come sign up and help out and
Okay.
show what the military was capable of doing, um, which needed. After that, for the amateur radio side of things, we kind of coerced or whatever, co-opted the term Field Day, and the first guy to use it was a lieutenant colonel in the AAF, and he was also an amateur radio operator, and he was one of the founders of the American Radio Relay League. Um, his name was Francis E. Handy, and he was the one who came up with the idea of doing an international field day. And the main purpose of the field day is to kind of get out into the community, get out into remote areas, and set up exactly that emergency preparedness drills because that's back then and even now today. Uh, with just last year with the hurricanes that went through North Carolina and Florida.
Right. I would
Uh,
think the ham radio should be more used for emergency more than ever now,
we it was
because
used.
everyone's relying on your phones, and if anything goes to that now, people don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was used quite a bit during the hurricanes, um, and it like to the point where they were doing air traffic direction, and shoot, they were using it to the point where there was literally like a 6-man team that were going out on donkeys because there were people living on the tops of mountains that where the roads and the valleys had been washed out, and they were sending ham radio operators up there to check on them because those were the only people who could get to them. So it's a big important part of what we do as amateur radio operators. Not all of us do it, but there's different groups. There's around here we have Gears over in Geauga County. That's the Geauga County Emergency Group, and they're sort of their own thing. They do their own independent thing, but they've really got it down out there. And we kind of do too here in Ashtabula County. The Aries Amateur Radio Emergency Services. Um, we're District 10 here, and we there's probably like 6 people that work the Aries group, and they do a pretty good job of making sure they have a net every Monday night to test their equipment, make sure it's working correctly. This is sort of a thing for everybody in amateur radio to do, and it's to take your equipment out into the field and make sure you can get it set up so that you can do those emergency communications. Because just like in North Carolina or Florida, like in North Carolina, there was an amateur radio operator at the air base. There was an amateur radio operator at the fire stations.
So what you're saying is the more people that are involved in this, the more feedback you're going to get.
Yeah, in fact, I don't remember which one, but one of the Tennessee community colleges that got hit after that hurricane went through actually made it an accredited course, like to to be an amateur radio operator as part of their emergency services stuff, like with the EMTs and police training and security work stuff that they do. So they took it very, very seriously. And this Francis Handy, he developed the amateur radio handbook, and he was a big part of making the ARRL, and he's one of the guys that we as amateur radio operators sort of stand on the shoulders of today, because that's what they do. Now, back then, 1933, what they considered to be a portable radio wouldn't have fit in the back of a Jeep. You kind of needed a trailer back then, but
portable is kind of like a loose term right now.
Yeah, portable is now, I can get a 4x4x6 radio, literally in inches, that will do everything and more that radio would have done back then, but it's still just as important to this day. So back in 1933, when it was originally formed, that was it. There was barely phone. And radio hadn't been around for all that long, comparatively to now. So our group, we've been around for about 4 years now, and we've done field day every year, and we got plenty of pictures of us. We'll get some pictures up to look at for everybody of us doing field day over the years. And it's been great. It's fun. It's become more than just an emergency services training thing, though. People say, "Oh, it's a contest." Well, there is some contesting involved.
So this is like a hobby, a contest, and a life-saving emergency.
Yeah, because
so this is like so many things wrapped up in one.
Yes, because here's the thing. I heard one guy, he referred to it as NASCAR radio operating. He's like, and somebody else called it the radio roundup. I like that guy. He was out of Texas.
It sounds like a Texas thing.
He was calling out for radio stations. He was calling CQ, as we call it. And he was going, CQ for Field Day Radio Roundup. And I was just like, that is great. I loved talking with that guy. I took an extra minute with him. So we do more than that. There is a contest aspect to it. And the aspect is, we try and make contact with as many other amateur radio operators as we can. And I want to say the more contacts you get, the more people win. There's no prizes except for prestige. But there's a lot of people, there's a little bit of a controversy in there, because here's where the controversy lies. Some people are say this is emergency preparedness in the radio world. Okay, I agree with that. Other people say this is a contest in the radio world. And the ones that say it's not preparedness, it's a contest. And the ones that say it's preparedness say it's not a contest, it's preparedness. And that's a controversy that exists within the radio community. Here's the truth of the matter. If anybody's ever been in an emergency situation and they've had to run a net, even in a non-emergency situation, if you can't handle traffic at the speed of contesting, you are useless. I mean, not useless, but you're not going to be as effective at managing the emergency in the situation, because you have to talk to the guy who's flying the plane. You have to talk to the tower that no longer has communication to the plane directly. You have to talk to the fire team, the fire department that just went up the mountainside. You have to talk to the wrecking crew that is on the other side of the mountain and needs to clear the road for the fire department. And you have to be able to do that stuff quickly. And if you can't handle contesting speeds, you're probably not going to be able to handle actual emergency services stuff. So that's the basic training of it. But there's more to it than that too. There's the public aspect of it. Obviously, we like to do it in a place that's public. Like we're going to be doing it. Ours in this year, we're going to use Geneva State Park. We're going to be at the Crabapple picnic area.
How many people do you think is going to show up for that? You have like a
Well, our
idea?
we have a core membership of about 10 people that show up and stay the full 24 hours.
And bystanders, you get like a crowd
We'll
watching?
get a crowd. We'll get a crowd. Mostly what we get is people who are ex-ham radio operators or old ham radio operators that maybe let their call signs lapse, or maybe they had a uncle or a brother or grandfather that was into amateur radio. They'll come up and talk to us.
Well, you're doing it in the park too, so you're going to get some random people.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, what's going on here?
Sometimes we get those poor, unfortunate people like, to tell that story, director?
Go ahead.
We had some people who were,
Yeah.
we were at a park in southern Ashtabula County, and not to knock anything, because it's a beautiful park. I love it down there. We've been there a couple times, but the late night party crews that don't just drink alcohol, there was a couple of them down there. and they were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and but hey, you know what, we fed them, and none of our food went to waste. That's for sure. But that's just being part of the community.
Did everyone have a good time?
Everybody had a good time.
That sounds like a good time.
Okay, let me clarify that. Everybody had a good time. Our crew had a good time responsibly within the boundaries that are set up for participating in a park and on a field day event. So we did not partake in any of the extracurricular stuff.
Not that good time.
Yeah.
But you had a good time.
Well, we all had a good time, because it's always fun. It's always fun because it's also like a picnic, a camp out overnight. We always have food. We're there for, we're usually there from 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to 6 or 7 in the morning on Saturday to probably 5 or 6 on Sunday. Because the hours of operation usually run from like 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Let me ask you a question. Of all the times you've been doing this in the field and in the parks, those bystanders, has anyone ever became a member?
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing.
In fact, and not just from there, from other stuff too. We've had people that have seen us at the park and then showed up to a club meeting the next week. Even, well, our one member, Chris, I do my radio show on Wednesday nights. If you have a scanner, you can listen to that radio show over the air. And he listened to the radio show for probably, if I remember his accounting correctly, it was at least 3 months before he came to us and got his license. So he just showed up to a meeting one day and was like, "Hey, I'm here to take a test. Can somebody facilitate that?" And we said yes. So, so absolutely. When we go out and do these public events, we do get membership and interest from it. And so do the other like 40,000 amateur radio operators just across the United States that participate in that event. So of the 7,500 plus thousand amateur radio operators in the country, probably, a third of them, 45%, 45,000 anyway, participate actively. And that doesn't count Canada. That doesn't count the UK, who does theirs at the same time. Doesn't count India, whose amateur radio population is booming. They're increasing in numbers on like 600, 700, 800 a year.
Wow.
From what I can tell. The numbers are a little blurry, but when I was looking at it, I think World Field Day or World Radio Appreciation Day, they signed up over 600 people that month. So they've been pushing. It's always going to be the last weekend in June. This weekend, this is the 28th and 29th.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine. Absolutely.
You ever done it in a storm?
We have done it in the rain. Yes, many times. And
Doesn't stop you.
doesn't stop us. Nope. We got batteries. We don't have to have power. A lot of our radios now, we don't need to be powered or big generators. A lot of radios now, you can set up a 100-watt radio with two 12-volt batteries and talk all day if they're the right batteries.
Makes sense, because if it's raining here, it might be sun shining a couple states over, and that's the whole point of trying to reach them.
Absolutely.
So,
And we usually have tents and stuff with us. We'll have the benefit of a gazebo this year because it's going to be in a picnic area, so not too worried about that. And if anybody wants to come out and join us, like I said, we're going to be at Geneva State Park, Crabapple Picnic Area, and we've already got that reserved and ready to go. So hopefully we'll see folks out there.
maybe our editor can put like the map location of that in the link below.
We'll give that a shot. Maybe he can figure that out. We don't want to
Yeah.
give him too much work after the show because we want him to get it up a little more timely manner than he's been getting the show up at.
Point taken.
All right. Well, hey, you've got some comic books coming out.
Well, there's a new character coming out, actually, and he's already out. He hit the stands this week, and it looks like he's going to hit the ground running. It looks like he's going to be the next big Marvel character.
All right. So he's like a DC Flash?
He's a Marvel speedster. I mean, Marvel already has a couple speedsters. They got Quicksilver. Quasar's kind of quick too, but he's going to be more involved in. It sounds like he's going to be the DC equivalent of the Flash,
Okay. So
or the Marvel equivalent of the DC.
Since we're on characters that are like that.
Right.
So A-Train. Has Marvel, not to my recollection, neither Marvel or DC has ever addressed the problem with the opening shot of A-Train running somebody over and them exploding because he was going too fast and couldn't slow down.
I don't think I've seen that in the comic book yet.
It's not a comic book yet. It is an Amazon show, The Boys. Have you seen it?
The Boys. I got a bunch of kids at home, so
Okay, right. Gotcha. Okay. So their opening scene with their speedster is him running down the road to go to a hero thing. I don't even know if he's really going to do a hero thing. I can't quite remember. But the guy and his girlfriend are walking, and she starts to cross the street, and he's holding her hand, and their speedster A-Train goes right through her, and she explodes. And he's just standing there holding the hand. And then the guy comes back. So did they ever address anything like that?
not in Marvel and DC. That's got to be something independent. And the Boys used to be underneath the DC label, underneath Wildstorm.
Okay.
And the first 5 or 6 issues was published underneath Jim Lee's Wildstorm. And Jim Lee went to him and was like, hey, man, your comic book's a little graphic. Either tone it down or we're going to have a problem. And they're like, we don't stop for nothing. And then they left it Wildstorm so that they don't have this barrier that they have to work around. So
All right. Well, good for them. Sorry to distract you on that. Go right back to
Okay.
the new
So-
comic book.
back to Marvel, their character's name is Rapid, and he's appearing in Giant Size Spider-Man issue 1. It came out Wednesday. We have a few issues left at our comic book store, so hurry up and grab them. If I have a feeling it might be worth something later on. But the writers involved in this issue is Kevin Smith. That's kind of cool. He didn't create or write this issue, but Chip Zdarsky did. Well, he didn't write this segment. There's 3 segments in this comic book, and Chip Zdarsky is the writer, and it seems like he's a creator of Rapid, and which is funny because he kind of did a lot of stories in DC, kind of about speedsters too.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but introductory issues for characters are usually key issues and become big collector's items.
They
huh?
label it first appearances, and I don't think this comic book got enough commercial advertisement as such. So it's kind of like it's there, but people don't know about it yet. And if this character becomes anybody big, it looks like they're gearing up for like a big event with this guy. I think they want to time travel or change something up in the Marvel universe, and this character is definitely built for something along that caliber.
Okay.
It's definitely a game changer for Marvel, and I mean, this could change the way Marvel publishes comic books in the future. It could lead up to another end
Well,
game event.
I'd like to see a big change in that because the Secret Wars and the Endgame and all that stuff was all cool for me back in the day.
That was all Jim Shooter. He was like, he wanted a big event, so he made up the Infinity War, and that was awesome. But I think Marvel needs this one big thing.
It'll give them more movies.
Yeah. And so that's all the news I got on Marvel right now. But speaking of movies, I just got this tidbit of 2 new movies coming out that potentially. One is Spaceballs 2.
No way.
I've seen it. Mel Brooks did like this video on YouTube, and he's gearing up for it. Unless he's doing some kind of April Fool's joke, but it's kind of past April Fool's.
I'm gonna have to go look at that video and check it out because how's he gonna do that today? Not to get into too much, but with everything being canceled left and right, how's that gonna happen?
I mean, it's gonna be tricky.
There's a whole lot of words you can't say that are in those movies. At least in that one.
Maybe Mel Brooks knows a workaround or knows of some kind of Hollywood secret. I don't know.
Well, I'll look at it. I'll look for it. I'm looking for the reviews, but
as far as I know,
I loved Spaceballs. I have a copy of it at home, and I watch it on a regular basis.
Well, John Candy passed away. So
Yeah. So no barf.
no barf, unless CGI.
I mean, somebody's gonna barf, but
in the video was just a bunch of words scrolling in the Star Wars opening scene way. So I don't know if it's going to be animated or what. It could be live action. I don't know. I didn't really do a deep dive. This was like 6 hours ago that he posted it.
all right.
So
Well, hopefully it's going to be live action because that would suck if it wasn't
yeah,
live
yeah.
action. It would suck. Oh, sorry. Can you tell I watched that movie? I like that movie a lot, actually.
So I'm hoping it's live action.
It'd be great if it was live action. What's the other movie you got coming out?
Young Guns 3.
No way.
Yeah.
At least all those guys are around.
Emilio Estevez is leading. I think he's taken the writing and the directing credits.
Okay.
And he's trying to make this as authentic as possible.
Wow.
And he made the other two very much authentic. I mean,
Yeah. The first one was great.
I wasn't there when Billy the Kid was around, but watching the movie made me feel like this is legit.
There is so much stuff out there on Billy the Kid. It's amazing. I mean, good stuff, but accurate stuff, I should say,
Right.
and inaccurate stuff. But if all the accurate stuff is correct, that kid was like, well, he was pretty underrated. I mean, he did some bad things. He did a bunch of good things. So
He did it all from the heart, what he thought was right.
yeah.
I mean, it might not have been right, but he had a way of doing things, I guess.
It'll be pretty cool to see another Young Guns movie come out because I really liked the first one.
Well, we have Lou Diamond Phillips in it. Kiefer Sutherland's on board. Charlie Sheen. Hopefully he's can play in a movie without any substance abuse.
Didn't he get over that? I thought he got over that.
I have no idea. He's been out of my spotlight. I don't know if he's been out of Hollywood spotlight.
Like he's 2.5 Men, right?
Yeah, but after that,
He
I don't know what happened to him.
After that, he said, "I'm sorry, I got diseases, and I didn't mean to make shows like that." And
Well, he had tiger blood,
yeah,
and
and then I don't know. I thought he was in recovery.
yeah, I mean,
he's not a Scientologist. He knows how to do stuff.
it's been a while since I seen anything of him in the.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him since then either. But well, I guess we'll see how he's doing.
I'm kind of excited about it because I grew up on Young Guns, and I'm not a big Western guy. My dad was a big Western guy. He watched Westerns quite a bit,
I like westerns.
And I liked them, but it's just I couldn't get into it because I was a kid.
Westerns and giant monster movies, and those are my two favorite.
I grew up watching Big Chuck and Little John.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Me
man.
too. Me
And
too. What a great. Well, actually, I started watching Big Chuck and Houlihan, and Little John was sort of like a guy that would just come in once in a while, but some stuff happened, and Houlihan wasn't there anymore, and Little John came in full time. But the whole skit thing that they used to do,
yes,
and the movies, and don't get
Yes.
me wrong, I liked Elvira, I liked Goulardi, those guys were cool too, but they were not the same.
yeah. I mean, Goulardi started, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Big Chuck and Little John just kind of intercepted and took the ball and ran with it. And I remember my dad took me to the county fair, Ashtabula, and they were there, and I met them, and I thought that was the coolest thing. As a kid, I thought they were like huge, globally wide,
Right.
stars, because I seen them on TV. And I was like, oh wow, you got them on TV. But as I got older, I realized not everybody knew outside of Cleveland. A lot of people did know outside of Cleveland, but I mean, it's mostly a Cleveland-based thing.
Yeah, like Superhost. He was one of my favorites too. Only because he would do like there was always it was either a Godzilla movie or a Three Stooges movie, full length feature, or a cheap kung fu movie, like imported, overdubbed.
Oh, I got
Kung
into a
fu
phase in
movies.
my life where I was just watching all these old martial art movies.
Well, hopefully these two movies that are coming out are good. If he can get Spaceballs 2 past anywhere near as good as the first one was, it'll be a hit, I'm sure.
Right.
And maybe now's the time for it with the way things are going. And man, I can't imagine another Young Guns movie not being good.
Right.
So,
Well, Young Guns,
Or-
I'm sorry. Young Guns is already filmed, and I think it's coming out late this year or early next year.
well, I'll be looking forward to seeing it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're wrapping it up here. We're getting close to time.
All right.
Man, it almost seems like we're too short on time sometimes, but
I feel like we're just right.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're like the three bears, and we found a nice niche, and this is just right.
We'll see how it goes.
I don't think 10 minutes is enough, and 40 minutes is way too much. I think we got a time frame, and we just know when it is.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
just right.
So let me just say again. I guess I'll start bringing it out here. You can find me on YouTube, Wednesday Night Joke Net. You can also find me on Facebook. Just search Nemo on Facebook, and you'll see a picture of a clownfish, and then you'll probably find my profile somewhere. So just check us out. And man, don't forget, come out field day, January 28th and 29th, and hopefully we'll see some people out there. It'll be I was gonna say Geneva State Park. It's okay, lineman. I got my script down. Crabapple picnic area, Geneva State Park, and we'll be showing up there. So also that's it. I also want to thank. Well, there's a couple other people I want to thank. I want to thank our friend Dan for giving us this space to do this show in, and
Right.
the people over here at Evergreen Lake Campground for allowing us to do it here and helping us out. Hey, I know you mentioned this. We got some new mics from the guys up at the mall over at the Radio Shack. Yes, we have a Radio Shack. It's independent, and that guy stayed open late while we showed up after work. Thank you very much to you guys for doing that for us so that we can get these new mics in.
Yeah, we had a tough decision. We were looking at a couple of different models, and hopefully we picked the right one.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely thank you for staying open and talking with us, and yeah.
Hey, I think they're working good. And thank you to our wives and our XYLs. Appreciate you putting up with us.
You can find me at Captain's Comics in North Kingsville, Ohio. I'm also on Facebook, and yeah, and look forward to talking to some of you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.